Did you know that you lose more than 50% of your users during digital onboarding? Signicat did the research last year, asking consumers about their onboarding experience. We interviewed people in the Netherlands, Germany, Sweden, and the UK about a digital onboarding process, and it turned out that more than 50% of the users had abandoned a digital onboarding. This number was actually gone up since the report we did 2 years earlier, and we wanted to learn why are so many people abandoning the onboarding. Turns out the main factor is the amount of personal information that you have to provide. Users are asked for a lot of information, and in a lot of cases they do not understand why they have to provide all this information. It's the time it takes going through the process. It's the delivery of physical information. It could be that you have to print something and send in the post, or you have to provide additional information. That, of course, also attributes to the time it takes. And also confusing language. It's difficult to understand what I have to provide and why I have to provide it and what the banks are going to use my information for. So these are the main reasons why people abandon onboarding. So more than 50%, more than half of the users waiting to become a customer run away before they sign up. So what is identity assurance? The purpose is to assure the identity of the user, obviously. And why do you need to do this? If you're a financial, you have the financial regulations, KYC and AML. But it could also be a pure risk-based approach where you, because of risk, you need to know the identity of the user. The challenges with the onboarding process is, as I mentioned already, time, both for the consumer and for the bank. The user experience is often not very good. It's the geographic reach. If you have to provide physical information and send that, that's a challenge, and especially if you have to meet face-to-face. It's the cost. Doing a lot of manual processes costs a lot of money. And it's the abandonment rates, as mentioned. And often when the user first signs up, the motivation may not be very high. Maybe you just want to look around, check out the app, see if that's what you want. Is this a modern bank, etc.? And in that case, if you're asked for a lot of information, you may just decide, hey, I'm just going to leave. If you're going to borrow money to buy a house, well, of course, you will understand that you have to provide a lot of information. So it's important to realize what is the user motivation to sign up. And it's important to have simple onboarding to get the relationship going. So identity assurance is the balance between the cost. It's about the risk and regulatory compliance, and it's the abandonment rates. Some more numbers from the report. We asked the users if there was a pure digital onboarding, no paper sharing, would that increase the probability of going through? And in general, as you can see from the graph, yes, very high numbers on that. We asked people about EID. Okay, what is an EID? Electronic identifiers are used widely in the Nordics for a lot of purposes. We have the bank ID in Norway that's used not only for banks but for many different purposes, and including opening bank accounts. And people were asked if you had an EID, electronic identifier, would you use this for opening a bank account? And people would like that. They would like this simplified by only having to onboard with the EID provider. You only do this once and then you can reuse that information. We also asked about trust. Trust is a difficult concept. Who do users trust? And in general, we saw that people tend to trust banks a lot more than governments. So we see that people would like the banks to handle their EID as well. The Signicat platform provides a number of different methods for doing the onboarding. And the purpose is, of course, to make sure you do the onboarding as strong as you need. We provide EIDs. We have the largest EID coverage in the world with all the bank IDs in the Nordics, in the Netherlands. We're expanding the new EID, so EID can be used alone or together with other methods. We can ask the user to provide an identity paper, a photo of a passport or a driver license or an ID paper, combined then with a self-portrait with a liveness test that will prove possession of that document. Proof of address would be uploading a utility bill, for example, where that is required. We can also use the commercial identities. They don't really provide a strong verification of the user identity, but can be an easy starting point to gather some information. Possession of the phone can easily be done by sending a text message to the phone. And then also we have connection to a number of different attribute providers that provide additional information or can be used to verify information. This can be a PEP check. Is the user a politically exposed person? This can be validating an address. This can be looking up an address, etc. So all of these methods can be combined in different ways depending on the requirements. And of course, there may still be need to do some more checks, in which case there can be a manual check or even do a face-to-face meeting over a video conference. So the point is, make the identity assurance easy to get started, make the relationship going, and then ask for more information as you go along.